Hello, Kenny. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good, thank you.
How was it easy to find the place?
Yes,
To get
it
here?
was easy.
Good.
It's just 45-minute drive. Too
Oh,
much
really?
traffic here in Houston, but yeah.
What side of town are you coming from?
East of Houston.
East of Houston.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right. Never been on that side of town. I'm more of the northwest, but here we are.
Okay.
Awesome. So, Kenny, I did notice here that we went over a confidentiality agreement. Did you have any questions as far as confidentiality when you were filling those forms?
I went through it and no, I understand. No,
You understand?
I have no questions.
Okay. Well, just as a counselor, as a professional counselor, we need to go over confidentiality limitations for you. So everything that we speak to about today is all in confidence and in confidentiality for you, so nobody else will hear about this or know about this. So feel free to talk to me about it. There's only certain things that I will have to break confidentiality, and I want you to be aware of them. One thing is that we do break confidentiality when you're going to self-harm or suicide. Anything that has to do with harm against yourself or others, I'll have to disclose that to either the property authorities. Another thing is if there's any signs of sexual abuse with child abuse or any abuse to elderly, I'd have to report that to and break our confidentiality agreement. All right, is that perfectly what you understand
Yes.
about our confidentiality?
Yes.
All right, great. So some things that I want to look over is our intake forms. So here I'm trying to look at everything that you filled out, and it's basically just a snapshot of little things of why you're here today. And I want to go over those with you today so I can actually see if I can pinpoint certain things of the reasons why you're here today. So the first thing that I want to go over with you is the reason why you're seeking counseling, and I see here it's for anxiety. So can you give me a little bit more about what are the issues of anxiety that you're having? Maybe more recently, so I can kind of get more of an idea of what you're going through.
Well, I've suffered from anxiety for a while now. The most recent one that I noticed that I even got physically sick was this past Thursday, driving on the freeway. Suddenly I have a flat tire, and with the flat tire, of course, I got nervous, I got scared. I was like, do I need to call my husband first? Do I need to call the insurance? What do I need to do?
Right.
And people are honking at me. So I kind of panicked a little bit. I was a little nervous. I finally pulled over. I ended up having to call my insurance, and they said it's the easiest way. You can also download an app. Okay, so they can track and see if somebody can come in and check on you and get your tire fixed. So apparently it took like 30 minutes for somebody to finally reach me that they were going to be late. And then they canceled on me. So I had to wait another 30 minutes. So I'm here waiting. At the same time, I'm calling my supervisor that I'm not going to make it. I'm thinking that I'll be a little bit late, but I was all nervous because I don't like calling in. I don't like missing work. I hate calling in. Never, usually, unless I'm real sick or my child is sick. But because I have a huge responsibility at work, so I don't want to miss work. So all that came into my anxiety levels went high. I started feeling dizzy, a little nauseous. I waited for an hour there by myself for somebody to come rescue me. So just that type of scenario, I can see my anxiety levels just up to the roof. And I don't like feeling the physical illness that I feel. That's what I really want to work on.
Okay, so when you're talking about your anxiety and your symptoms, let's look at, I'm guessing symptoms would be, let's just say something like a stomach ache or, now did you notice yourself feeling that instantly when the accident happened, or was it something that you felt with all the dilemmas that you ran into when you're tired?
Yes.
Like, was it over time, or was it the next day that you felt sick, or?
Actually, I felt a couple of hours.
Okay.
That's when I felt the symptom.
And when did it start, though?
The symptoms?
Yeah.
Right away, the
Right away.
stomach.
Okay.
But like the headache, the pounding was
Okay.
a couple hours later. But the stomach ache and the nauseous
Okay.
right away.
Right.
I guess the anxiety levels was really high.
Okay.
I was just worried of how I'm gonna fix my car. I was worried about using my personal time at work, and I don't like using my personal time. So I want to use it for my vacation, not for a day to fix my tire.
Right.
So I don't like having to not be under control and feeling sick about something.
Okay. What about the instances where, so you talk about your personal time, you don't want to utilize your personal time for this incident that happened, which was out of your hands, right? Your tire goes out, it's out of your hands. Do you recall a time when you actually used personal time for yourself when something did happen that was out of your hands?
Just if my children get sick, they call me from school and I have to go pick them up. I mean, I feel that's priority. That's fine. I don't mind using my personal time. They're my children. I'm gonna go see what's going on. But I'm like, are you kidding me? My tire now has so many things going on.
Right.
You know, I have to worry about other things. I have so many things on my list to do, and just another thing to add on that list of stress. It just gave me all those symptoms.
Okay. So then what you're telling me right now is that from your anxiety scenario that you have, it is not a form of anxiety that happens just with one specific thing. It rolls into other things. It's just not a momentarily one, but it basically dominoes effects into other emotions with other events.
Yes, it builds.
So work gives you another aspect.
It definitely builds up. If I'm already stressed about work, because my job demands me to do a lot of things. So I work in the court system, and part of my job is to enter codes and make sure I have the right numbers in the system. For example, when they sentence an individual to be in custody, say they have to be there 10 months in jail custody, and I have to make sure I do the 10 months. I type the correct amount in the system and not do 2 days or 10 years. So all that pressure of my job, making sure I set a bond correct on an individual, making sure I release a defendant from prison. All that pressure just builds up every day. And when something out of the blues happens, like my tire, it just suddenly made it worse. And that's where I felt the physical symptoms.
Okay, I see. So the scenario you're also describing to me is, from what I understood, is that you're already on pressure mode from your work or your daily life or something. You have a consistency, so you have a balance. But the moment that some event comes in that gives that disturbance of that balance, it can really heighten your anxiety to the point where you get physical symptoms, the stomach and then the headache, and it rolls into. Okay. Was there any other instances that you experienced this, maybe like with family or with maybe your younger years growing up, that you noticed this experience as well? Or is it just recently that this has happened?
Well, I've always remembered that I've been an insecure child. I don't have siblings. I never had a father figure. It was just my mom. So I always had insecurity issues. I always felt afraid of new things, of trying new things out. So I believe that might be the reason why things happen to me, new things happen in my environment that makes my anxiety get worse. Because since the beginning of time that I remember, my age, I've never had a secure system.
I see where you're coming from. Well, it's almost time. Our time together for this session is almost up, but I just wanted to go over with you. Eventually, we'll work on some goals and look at some homework that we can work on. But what I'd like to do for you to do for me is I want you to summarize what we talked about today, so I can also try to pinpoint those things to work on our goals next time and objectives. Can you summarize what our session was about today?
Sure. We talked about my anxiety, the reasons why I get these anxieties, what triggers them, and hopefully resolve them with goals that we can work together.
Definitely. Definitely we'll make up those points and everything that we want to look at. All right. Well, thank you, Kenny. Thank you for being here today, and I look forward to working with you on the next session so we can go over all our objectives and our goals so we can get you into a lower anxiety that you have, that you
Okay.
experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.